Hello everyone, and thank you guys for watching. Classic by Ryder here, bringing you a new video. It's Saturday, July 14. Is it? Yeah, July 14. Yesterday was Friday the 13th, and boy, this month have flown. Just last week it was the 4th of July weekend, or the 4th of July week, not weekend, and we are already on the 14th. Half months have flown by. Hello everyone, let's try this again, shall we? Hello everyone, thank you guys for watching. Classic by Ryder here. I just started at the post office and my camera shut off. So last week I ordered replacement batteries for my GoPro. I got a pair of batteries with a charger, and one of the batteries took a hell of a lot longer to charge than the other one. So, but it charged it. I mean, the thing changed to green after a while, after 2 or 3 hours or more, changed to charged. And I just put the same battery in my camera at the post. Well, I put it at my house. Didn't turn the camera on at the post office at all. I mean, at my house at all. I started recording from the post office. Turned it on and my camera just shut down. And I just stopped and checked, and sure enough, battery is dead. So luckily I put the other extra battery and the original GoPro battery with me. So in the video that I made last week, I mentioned that I have gotten a car from this place in Riverhead called Drive Smart of Riverhead. They located on Route 58, right next to Speedway, better known as Hess, in Riverhead and Route 58. That dealership's been there for a while. It used to be called Prestigious Motors for a long time. Before that, it was Peconic Bay Motors, before they made the new big building and moved away. When they moved away, Prestigious Motors took them over. And a few years ago, when I was working still at Apple Auto Parts in Riverhead, I went in there to get a car because they advertise they can approve anyone regardless of your credit history. And as I already stated before in many videos before, my credit is not that great. I'm just rebuilding my credit since my child support ended at the end of last year. So I started to rebuild my credit. Got a secure MasterCard from Capital One with a $200 limit. Right now my balance is zero. I just made the payment today. So I've been trying to get a car, and as I mentioned before, I tried already. I haven't gotten, but Carvana, which is an online auto dealership, I can get a car from there at 19% interest rate. And I tried several dealerships, and they've been giving it a run around. So I went to this Drive Smart of Riverhead about the end of June. Alright, I went online and looked at the cars, and they had a car that I wanted, which is a 2011 Kia Sorento. And they said that I had to come down and fill the paperwork. So I never went, but they kept messaging me and emailing me and leaving messages on my voicemail. So I decided, you know, on the 28th, I went over there. And I went at the end of the day because I wanted to check it out. So it was on a Sunday. So I went there. The guy took my information, made me fill out an application, and he told me right away, oh, you're approved. Okay, but I went and I was looking at because the Sorento was sold, I was looking at a 2008 Ford Edge. I mean, not Edge, Escape. 2008 Ford Escape, 79,000 miles. The car was clean, very nice condition, shiny paint. And that's the one that I was gonna apply for. So by the time we went out, test drove it, by the time we came back from the test drive, the guy who took my application and stuff handed the salesman the keys for a 2015 Honda Civic. And he said, oh, show him that car, show him this car, the Civic. So the guy goes out and show it to me. Very nice car. I must admit, it was a very, very nice car. At some point in my life, I owned a Honda. I think it was a Honda Accord, really old, from the early 90s. So the Honda Accord, the one with the headlights goes up and down. But this one, it was nice, but that's not the car that I wanted. However, they did have a 2012 Chevy Malibu, burgundy. And I love the Chevy Malibu because I just drove the 2009 Chevy Malibu in the other dealership in Patchogue. And they said that they could approve me if I had a co-signer, and I just wanted to try it on my own. Mind you, Carvana, I didn't put any co-signer, and I was already approved. Depending on the car, my payment's gonna be, depending on the car, they 2015 and over on Carvana. Okay, my payment's still gonna be below $400. Anyway, making a long story short, I went to Drive Smart of Riverhead. He filled out the paperwork, and he said, okay, I'll give you a call tomorrow because all the banks is closed today. I submitted a whole bunch of papers. He required me to send, the next day, he required me to send more papers. So I sent like an employment letter. So I had my boss mailed in an employment letter, or mailed in she gave me an employment letter. I scanned it and emailed it to him. An employment letter said how much I get paid and all that crap. And not only that, I sent them my bank statements from previous months. And mind you, it was June, so the statements on the bank goes from the beginning of the month to the beginning of the next month. So they wanted me to provide a statement from June. And this was last Saturday when I went there. And last Saturday was the 4th with Wednesday. It was actually the 7th, and the statement go from 7 to 7. But the statement on my bank wasn't ready yet. They tell me, without that statement, I can do nothing. So I came home. I printed a page with my transactions for the month, and I highlighted all the deposits that I made during the month, which is the same. I get paid the same amount every week. I get paid the same amount. 40 hours, I get paid the same amount. Anyway, he said, no, that's not sufficient. I need the statement from the bank. I was already getting annoyed and pissed. I was like, listen, the bank statement is not ready yet. I'm coming Tuesday, because I had given him Saturday when I went $300 down. He wanted $1,000. So when I got paid Monday, I had the other $600, and my wife loaned me another $100 at $700. That would have been the $1,000. So he had told me on Saturday when I gave him the $300, when you want to pick up the car. And I said, well, Tuesday when I come back, I can pick up the car, right? He made me, right then and there in the dealership, he made me call my insurance company and add insurance to the car. They emailed them, because I heard the lady right there talking to her. They emailed them and they faxed them over a copy of my insurance cards. When I went there Tuesday, they couldn't find them, so I had to go in my phone on my insurance app and send them another insurance card. So, but the car was nowhere to be found on Tuesday when we went there, and he knew that I was gonna come pick up the car. So I gave him the other $700. He tells me, hey, listen, they're requiring $1,400 on a down deposit. And I said, no, that's not happening. And he said, okay, I'm gonna have to try to have that waived. And on the paperwork he gave me, it says $1,300. The quote unquote contract for sale. Everything is electronic nowadays. So this was Tuesday. I said, okay, so when the car's gonna be ready? So I said, oh, you gotta take a couple of days because it's too late. The DMV is closed today. And I said, well, it'll be done by Thursday, so I can pick it up Thursday. He said, oh yeah, it's gonna be either Thursday. It's gonna take 3 days, probably Thursday or Friday. I'll give you a call. We can deliver the car up to you, he tells me. So I left it as that. So Wednesday, no call. Thursday, no call. Friday, no call. And I'm looking online, and they had the car in the website again, and they took the price out. They changed the mileage, so the mileage goes. Someone was driving the car. They took the price of the internet and said call to verify pricing. Okay, so they baiting you to go in there, to go to the dealership so you can, they was basically it's bait and switch. So I was so annoyed, I didn't call. I went there yesterday with my wife to show that they closed at 6 on Fridays, and we got there, it was like almost 7:30, because during the week they close at 8 o'clock. When there's no business, they close at 8 o'clock. On Friday, Saturday, when they're supposed to be open the longest, they close earlier. So I'm on my way there today to get my $1,000 deposit back, because I no longer want to do business with this company, this car dealership. For the sole purpose is that they haven't kept up. The other guy that it was there before, the one that took my original application, he's no longer there. So my file was stuck somewhere, and they didn't do anything about it to follow up. And now when I go there yesterday, the car is there in the parking lot, no license plates at all. All right, mind you, I can go to DMV myself, and in an hour I have plates for my car. And other dealerships, when we bought the Nissan, the white Nissan, my wife and I went in there, no money down, okay, zero money down. We drove up the lot with a car. The payments were $347 a month for 5 years. And this guy, this company that they use, I was gonna be paying 22% interest rate for 5.5 years, $457 for a 2012 car. I could get a brand new freaking car for that much money. I can get a Mercedes for $457 a month. Come on. For real. So I went there yesterday, no place in the car. So I'm heading there today to get my money back. I also going to the Suffolk Federal Credit Union because I try to file a... See, I already had everything planned up in my mind. So, okay, payments are a little too high. I can handle it. But what I was going to do, I was opening an account at the Suffolk Federal Credit Union, and I think after 3 months or 4 months, I could apply for a car loan, so they can take over my my payments, my bank account, my car, right? They can pay it off, and I pay them at less interest rates. So basically, I was refinancing the vehicle with the Suffolk Federal Credit Union for less money, so I can pay, lower my payments. But I'm still opening the credit union, the account in the credit union, because I want to apply to get a trailer home or a small house for me and my wife. We got a plan for the future. I'm tired of paying rent to making other people wealthy, and everybody else living good, and we always at the bottom of the barrel. So yeah, that's my situation. I'm heading to Riverhead. I'm not gonna record the whole way, so I'm gonna stop you so I can save some of my battery. I did brought my regular GoPro battery with me, and we'll see what happens. All right, be back in a bit. All right, so I'm back. Actually, I had something else to talk about. Last week, when I made the video going to my stepdaughter's house to drop my wife off to get her car, pull out of that street from my stepdaughter's house. Suddenly another fellow rider, lost his life in a motorcycle accident. 79-year-old lady made a left turn in front of him. He was traveling north and he had a Yamaha R1, I think it was, or an R6. I think it's an R6. I didn't know the guy personally, but the guy who used to live at our house last year, he was his friend. One day last year, he went in his motorcycle to my house, where he has his car in the shop. And I knew where the guy lives. I kept driving the week before, seeing the bike. He was actually selling the motorcycle. He had it for sale. And I don't know if he sold it and the guy who purchased it was the one in the accident. But either way, he was going straight, like I'm going straight, and some lady made a left turn in front of him. He broadside the car. The impact, he flew in the air, fell in the other lane, oncoming traffic, and another car run him over. So he had double whammy. The other car ran him over. They were taking him to Stony Brook Hospital. They should have flown him. That was a big accident like that. He should have been flown to Stony Brook. They decided to take him in an ambulance, and he arrived dead at the hospital, dead on arrival. So it's very sad to hear another fellow rider lost his life. And I consider myself a safe driver. I don't speed. I follow my traffic rules. But some kids with speed bikes, sport bikes, they get all the adrenaline rushing through the through the veins, and they want to fly down the road. I don't know the circumstances. I don't want to speculate, so I haven't read the news report yet. I just saw a little bit, the headlines in the paper. My stepdaughter was nervous because it just happened about the same time that we left. I went to pick up my wife at the beach and left to go to her house. And when she got back, she encountered the accident. When they told me it was a motorcycle accident, she was all panicked and she was calling my wife. She's calling me. We were at the house already. We were fine, thank God. But so just go to show you, I was just talking about that on the other video too. Before I knew that it was going to be an accident. You gotta keep 4 eyes in front of you, and you gotta be ready to react. Because you don't know what the driver in front of you is going to do, or the driver behind you. And I've seen people, there's some states that they allowed lane splitting. New York is not one of them. It's illegal over here to lane split. And I've seen people do it. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. Because if you get caught lane splitting, that's going to be a point in your license. And what that means, insurance go high, and if something happens, for example, I start to lane split, I go across this car, he's not paying attention, he veers to his left, hits me, I hit the car coming in the other direction, it's all over. So, but I've seen people, saying the lane splitting is good because, you you can avoid getting rear-ended, because you know, like, see this line of traffic, I could lane split and move to the head of the line, and I avoid having to be in the back of this car and the car behind me not paying attention, it could rear-end me. That's, you know, I guess if you live in one of those states that does it and you're used to it, it will be cool. But you know, I never done it, so I won't think. I will think it will take me a while to get accustomed if they allow lane splitting in New York, and they will have to make the roads bigger, because there's no space over here for a bike to go around another car. It's too narrow. This big boy with the side cases, no way, no effing way. Anyway, we're just talking about that. Just talking about that, and sorry I didn't, fellow rider, give the salute. I was just taking off so I can get my hand off the clutch, the fan. I kind of like nodded. The not salute. All right, I'll be back. All right, so I'm in Southampton. Figure I'd turn my camera on, because just back there was a guy in a Porsche making a right turn into the Porsche dealership, and it's kind of like went around them. There was another car in the turning lane, so I would squeeze between them, and there was a cop sitting right there checking for speeds. So I've been looking at these cop videos online that people post, people versus police. You know, they recording and the police being, well, I'm not gonna say dicks, because, you know, I know what police goes every day, you know, what they go through every day. Some of them do have a power trip, but not all. But if a cop come ask you, you know, what are you doing, what's your name, doesn't matter, you know, just give them the name. They have the right to figure out who you are, just in case, you know, something happened. But I've seen a lot of videos of people, you know, going all irate on police because they ask them the name and what they're doing, rather than just tell them, okay, I'm so and so, and that's it, you know, end of the story. But they go into like 30-minute video, 40-minute video, wasting their time, wasting the policeman's time, you know. They could just tell them who they are, so the policeman can go out and find real bad people who are doing real bad things. But if you're gonna stop acting like a dick, you know, the cop don't know if you are a criminal and just waiting to do something bad, and you're just gonna stay there. You actually calling attention to yourself rather than just diffusing the situation. Now, there's other policemen, like I saw this guy in a very fancy Lamborghini, Canadian resident who was in Los Angeles for vacation. He drove his car from Canada, and just because he was driving a fancy car, he just got pulled over by a policeman. The guy is recording, you know, he has a dash camera and all that stuff. Policeman pulled him over, and he asked, why did I do wrong? Why did I get pulled over? He said, because you run a stop sign. And the cop said, the guy said, no, I didn't. And the cop said, yes, you did. Back there, you ran a stop sign. And the guy, no, you didn't. I'm recording. I never ran a stop sign. The policeman, oh yeah, I'm recording too. I got a camera back there too. And he goes on, the policeman asking him for a license, and he got his Canadian license. And the policeman said that in California law, you had to have a California license in order to drive in California. there's no such law. If you live in the United States, you can drive anywhere in the United States. In the states that you are, you can drive to any states with your license, just as long as you're not a resident. If you're a resident, you got 30 days from the day you moved in to that state to change your license and everything to that state, unless you're just there for a little short while and you don't want to go through the hassle of having to change it back when you get back to where you're from. So this goes on and on. The policeman ended up giving the guy a citation for no license, running. He didn't even give him a ticket for running a stop sign like he originally did. He gave him a ticket for no license and a ticket for having a Motovlog exhaust. It's a freaking Lamborghini. They come built like that from factory, and it's a custom Lamborghini at that. And the guy ended up going to the police department and filing up a complaint against the cop. By the time he came out of the police department, the policeman, the guy that gave him the ticket, already had gone and give their friends a ticket while they were downstairs waiting for them and telling them, "What, your friend is over here crying because I gave him a ticket." He also threatened the guy he was going to take his car. If you're going to see him driving around, he was going to take his car, going to impound it. That's funny. So the whole situation, I just put my camera on just to monitor my speed, because I seen another one, two guys in two 250 motorcycles driving, right? They're in the inside lane, and there's a Jeep passing, like doing like 80 miles per hour, and they get pulled over by two motorcycle cops saying that they were doing 75 on a 75 on a 60 or something like that, something outrageous like that. And the guy says all that time the cop didn't know that they had cameras, so they were gonna give him a ticket for speeding, and all along they had the cameras where you can clearly see the speed. By the time they were done, right, they were getting ready to pull out. The cop sees the cameras. They call him back and say, "Hey, we talked about it, and just give it those pink slips back. We decided we're going to cut you a break." They knew that they were on the wrong. They were making a fake ticket. So yeah, I mean, I'm not out there bashing cops, because I know that they have it hard as it is. Not all policemen are dickheads. Some of them are good guys, but just in case, just in case, you don't know what can happen. All right, so I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna enjoy this 27 Sunrise Highway. I'm gonna enjoy my ride out to Riverhead. Windy. Now I'm losing weight again, and my helmet is big on me again. good. There was no rain in the forecast for today. I don't know what's going on. For the scenery route. So I think I'm gonna go to the credit union first because they close at 2. In case that the dealership they bullshit me around for a while and I get stuck in there. Gotta save some gas. Gotta get gas later. Is it recording? Am I still recording? Yep, I am. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit.